Top 10 Deadliest Snakes in North America. Intro. North America might not have cobras or black mambas, but don't get too comfortable. From rattlesnakes with lightning-fast strikes to venomous serpents hiding right under your hiking boots, this continent has some seriously deadly snakes. Today, we're counting down the top 10 deadliest snakes in North America, ranked by venom toxicity, number of bites, fatalities, and just how likely you are to run into one. Stick around until number 1, because it's responsible for more deaths than all the rest combined. Number 10. Cottonmouth, also known as the water moccasin. The cottonmouth is one of the most notorious snakes in the southern United States. Found in swamps, rivers, marshes, and even roadside ditches, this heavy-bodied serpent has earned its place as one of the most feared reptiles in North America. Its nickname, water moccasin, hints at its semi-aquatic lifestyle, but the name cottonmouth comes from its most chilling feature, the ghostly white interior of its mouth. When threatened, the snake gapes wide, flashing that pale lining like a warning sign before striking. Cottonmouths carry a venom that is classified as cytotoxic, meaning it destroys tissue at the cellular level. A single bite can lead to excruciating pain, massive swelling, blistering, and in severe cases, gangrene. Even when anti-venom prevents death, many survivors are left with permanent scarring or muscle damage. This is not a snake you forget after an encounter. Despite their reputation as aggressive, biologists note that cottonmouths are more defensive than outright hostile. They prefer to stand their ground rather than slither away, which makes humans believe they're being chased. In reality, the snake is just holding its position. Still, that doesn't make the situation any less terrifying when you're knee-deep in murky water and hear the splash of something moving nearby. The cottonmouth's range covers much of the southeastern United States, including states like Florida, Georgia, Alabama, Mississippi, Louisiana, and parts of Texas. They thrive in wetlands, where food is plentiful. Fish, frogs, small mammals, and even other snakes are on the menu. They're opportunistic hunters, and their strong jaws mean they can take down surprisingly large prey. Hundreds of cottonmouth bites are reported every year. Thanks to modern anti-venom, fatalities are rare, but that doesn't mean the danger isn't real. In fact, cottonmouths are considered one of the leading causes of serious snakebite injuries in their range. Medical bills can soar into the tens of thousands for a single bite due to tissue damage and extended hospital stays. There are also countless stories and urban legends about this snake. Fishermen tell of cottonmouths dropping into boats from overhanging tree branches. Campers share tales of snakes sliding silently across ponds, their heads raised like little periscopes above the waterline. True or not, these stories add to the snake's terrifying reputation. Bottom line, while you're unlikely to die from a cottonmouth bite if you get medical attention quickly, the injury can change your life forever. The cottonmouth is a reminder that in the swamps of the South, nature always has the upper hand. Here on Preda Planet, we talk about deadly predators and hidden dangers, but you know what's just as dangerous in real life? Bad credit. That's why I use SmartCredit. Most apps only show you part of the picture, but SmartCredit gives you all 3 bureaus in one dashboard. You can track your scores, fix mistakes, and even use their score builder tool to see how your choices today will impact your credit tomorrow. Think of it like spotting the snake before it strikes. SmartCredit lets you catch problems early, protect yourself from fraud, and stay in control. So if you're ready to stop being prey to bad credit and take charge of your financial future, click the link in the description and start your SmartCredit trial today. Preda Planet and SmartCredit, helping you survive the wild. Number 9, the eastern coral snake. If the cottonmouth is a symbol of raw power, the eastern coral snake is a reminder that danger sometimes comes wrapped in bright colors. Found mainly in Florida, Georgia, and parts of the Carolinas, this slender snake wears a bold uniform of red, yellow, and black rings. At first glance, it might look like a harmless toy, but this is one of the most venomous snakes in North America. The rhyme that children learn in the South could save your life. Red touch yellow, kill a fellow. Red touch black, friend of Jack. The coral snake's pattern is easily confused with the harmless scarlet king snake, which has similar colors but in a different order. Mistaking one for the other could be deadly. The coral snake's venom is neurotoxic, attacking the nervous system directly. Instead of destroying tissue like the cottonmouth, coral venom works silently, shutting down the body's communication network. At first, a bite might not even hurt. Victims often describe it as little more than a pinprick. But within hours, symptoms can progress from slurred speech and double vision to full paralysis. If untreated, the bite can stop the lungs from functioning, leading to suffocation. For decades, there was a major shortage of coral snake antivenom in the United States. By the early 2000s, production had slowed so much that doctors were rationing doses. This shortage made coral snake bites far more dangerous than they already were. Today, supplies are better, but the bite is still considered a medical emergency, requiring immediate hospitalization. Eastern coral snakes are secretive creatures. They spend much of their lives underground or hidden under leaf litter, emerging mostly at dawn or dusk. That means encounters with humans are rare, but when they happen, they can be devastating. In Florida especially, stories of dogs or children being bitten while playing outdoors are all too common. Interestingly, the coral snake's small mouth and short fangs mean it often has to chew on its victim to inject venom effectively. This doesn't make it any less dangerous. Once the venom is in, it's one of the most lethal concoctions in the snake world. The eastern coral snake is proof that appearances can be deceiving. With its candy-colored stripes, it looks more like a party decoration than a predator. But beneath that bright skin lies one of nature's deadliest weapons. One bite, and your body could begin shutting down piece by piece. That's why locals never take chances when they see those colors flash in the grass. Number 8. The Mojave rattlesnake. When it comes to rattlesnakes, most people immediately think of the sound, that chilling buzz that makes the hair on the back of your neck stand up. But with the Mojave rattlesnake, the real danger isn't just the sound, it's the venom. Widely considered the most toxic rattlesnake in North America, this desert dweller has earned the nickname the Mojave Green, a reference to the pale green hue often seen along its scales. Found primarily in the deserts of the southwestern United States and northern Mexico, the Mojave rattlesnake thrives in arid landscapes. It prefers open scrub, deserts, and grasslands where it can blend perfectly with the sandy soil and sparse vegetation. Its camouflage is so effective that hikers often don't see it until they're right on top of it, and by then, it's too late. What makes the Mojave rattlesnake especially deadly is its venom. Unlike many rattlesnakes, which have venom that is primarily hemotoxic, causing bleeding and tissue destruction, the Mojave's venom is a unique cocktail of hemotoxins and neurotoxins. That means it doesn't just cause swelling, pain, and tissue damage. It also attacks the nervous system, leading to muscle weakness, difficulty breathing, and in severe cases, respiratory failure. One of the scariest aspects of a Mojave bite is the delay in symptoms. Victims sometimes feel only mild pain at the site of the bite, leading them to underestimate the severity. Hours later, the neurotoxic effects begin to set in, and by that time, the venom has already done significant damage. Without quick access to antivenom, the prognosis can be grim. The Mojave rattlesnake has a reputation for being more aggressive than some of its rattlesnake cousins. While it won't actively hunt humans, it is known to stand its ground and strike with little hesitation when approached. Its strike speed is incredible, less than half a second from coil to contact, and with fangs that can deliver a large dose of venom in one bite. It's one of the most dangerous encounters a hiker or rancher can face in the desert. There are numerous accounts of close calls with this species. Ranchers in Arizona tell stories of nearly stepping on coiled Mojaves while moving cattle. Hikers in Nevada have reported hearing the ominous rattle just inches from their boots. In each case, survival often comes down to awareness and luck. Interestingly, not all Mojave rattlesnakes are created equal. Some populations, particularly in parts of California, have venom that is less neurotoxic and more hemotoxic. This difference has puzzled scientists for years and shows just how complex snake evolution can be. But regardless of the variation, all Mojave bites are treated as medical emergencies. Fatalities from Mojave bites are rare today thanks to modern antivenom, but survivors often describe the experience as life-changing. Extended hospital stays, lingering nerve pain, and permanent tissue damage are all common outcomes. It's a snake that commands respect not just for its toxicity, but for its unpredictability. When it comes to ranking the deadliest snakes in North America, the Mojave rattlesnake earns its spot because of its unique and terrifying venom. It doesn't just harm you physically, it has the ability to shut your body down from the inside out. In the deserts of the Southwest, the Mojave Green is a silent, coiled threat waiting just beyond the next cactus. Number 7. The Prairie Rattlesnake. Stretching across the Great Plains of North America, from southern Canada all the way into northern Mexico, the prairie rattlesnake is the most widespread rattler on the continent. If you picture endless grasslands, rolling hills, and wide open skies, chances are this snake is somewhere in that picture. Its sheer range alone makes it one of the most likely venomous snakes a person might encounter, and that alone earns it a place on this list. Unlike the Mojave, which is infamous for its venom toxicity, the prairie rattlesnake's danger lies in numbers. Because it's found in so many regions and in such high populations, the chances of crossing paths with one are far greater. Farmers, ranchers, hikers, and even suburban residents on the fringes of prairie land all have stories of run-ins with this snake. The prairie rattlesnake carries hemotoxic venom which causes immense swelling, internal bleeding, and tissue damage. A bite is rarely fatal if treated quickly, but the damage can still be severe. Victims often experience weeks of pain, scarring, and in some cases, permanent muscle loss around the bite site. Prairie rattlesnakes aren't especially large compared to some of their rattlesnake relatives, but they can still grow over 4 feet in length. They're also highly adaptable. While many snakes prefer specific habitats, prairie rattlers can live in rocky outcrops, open plains, river valleys, and even near human settlements. This adaptability puts them in closer contact with people than most other venomous snakes in North America. One chilling aspect of prairie rattlesnakes is their camouflage. Their brown and tan body pattern blends perfectly with the dry grasses and soil of the plains. Many bite reports come from people who simply stepped too close without noticing one coiled at their feet. By the time the rattle sounds, the strike may already be in motion. Historically, prairie rattlesnakes have played a significant role in Native American culture. Some tribes viewed them with respect and even reverence, seeing them as powerful spiritual animals. Others considered them symbols of danger and death. Either way, their presence was deeply felt across the prairies long before modern settlers expanded westward. In terms of statistics, prairie rattlesnakes are responsible for a notable number of bites every year. While fatalities are rare today, before modern anti-venom and hospitals, a bite from this snake was often a death sentence for farmers and pioneers on the plains. Medical help could be days away, and the venom would have plenty of time to do its damage. Despite their reputation, prairie rattlesnakes aren't out hunting people. They prefer to feed on small mammals like prairie dogs, ground squirrels, and mice. In fact, by controlling rodent populations, they provide an important ecological service. But as with most snakes, conflict arises when humans and rattlers occupy the same space. The prairie rattlesnake earns its place on this list, not because of the deadliness of each individual bite, but because of how common and widespread they are. In rattlesnake country, it's not a question of if you'll encounter one, it's a question of when. And when you do, you'd better keep your distance because this prairie native can and will strike to defend itself. Number 6. The timber rattlesnake. Deep in the forests and rocky hills of the eastern United States lurks a rattlesnake that has terrified generations of hikers, hunters, and settlers, the timber rattlesnake. This snake is a symbol of raw wilderness, and in fact, it was once used as a symbol of American independence. The coiled rattlesnake on the famous "Don't Tread on Me" flag was modeled after the timber rattler. But make no mistake, this isn't just a patriotic emblem. It's one of the most dangerous snakes on the continent. The timber rattlesnake is large and heavy-bodied, often reaching lengths of 4 to 5 feet, with some individuals stretching even longer. Their fangs are among the longest of any rattlesnake, capable of delivering deep, powerful injections of venom. And what venom it is, a toxic brew of hemotoxins, which destroy tissue and cause internal bleeding, and neurotoxins, which can interfere with the nervous system. This dual threat makes their bites particularly nasty. Timber rattlers are masters of patience. Unlike some snakes that slither constantly in search of food, timbers often lie in ambush. They'll coil along well-worn animal paths or even near human hiking trails, waiting for prey to cross their strike zone. When a small mammal like a squirrel or rabbit passes by, the snake lashes out with lightning speed, injecting venom that kills quickly and allows it to feed at leisure. For humans, this ambush behavior can be terrifying. Imagine walking quietly through a forest trail only to hear that unmistakable rattle from just a few feet away. Hikers describe the sound as an instant adrenaline rush. The kind of warning you never forget. The timber rattlesnake was once widespread across the eastern US, from New England down through the Appalachian Mountains and into the South. But habitat loss and hunting have reduced its numbers in many states. In some areas, it's now listed as a threatened species. That said, enough remain that encounters are far from rare. Hunters, loggers, and hikers continue to cross paths with them every year. When bites happen, they are serious. Symptoms include extreme pain, massive swelling, bruising, and sometimes neurological effects like numbness and difficulty breathing. Before modern anti-venom, a timber rattler bite often meant death within days. Even now, victims require immediate hospitalization and large amounts of anti-venom. There are plenty of recorded incidents involving timber rattlesnakes. In the Appalachian region, stories circulate of snake dens with dozens of coiled rattlers sharing the same rocky outcrop. One wrong step could disturb multiple snakes at once, creating a nightmare scenario for anyone nearby. Interestingly, despite their fearsome reputation, timber rattlers are generally not aggressive unless provoked. They prefer to warn with their rattle before striking, and many will retreat if given the chance. But when cornered or stepped on, they can and will defend themselves fiercely. The timber rattlesnake embodies the wild spirit of America's eastern forests, beautiful, powerful, and deadly when disrespected. Its historical symbolism as a creature that should not be tread upon is more than fitting. In the modern world, it serves as a reminder that even close to home, the wilderness still holds dangers that command respect. Number 5. The Copperhead. The Copperhead is proof that deadliness isn't always about having the strongest venom. This snake, found throughout the eastern and central United States, is one of the most common venomous snakes in North America, and that makes it one of the most dangerous. Copperheads are named for their distinct reddish-brown, copper-colored heads and hourglass-shaped patterns running along their bodies. This camouflage blends perfectly with fallen leaves on the forest floor. Hikers and campers often don't see them until it's too late. In fact, most copperhead bites happen because someone accidentally steps on one or gets too close without realizing the snake is there. Their venom is hemotoxic, meaning it causes tissue damage, swelling, and intense pain. Compared to rattlesnakes or coral snakes, copperhead venom isn't especially potent. Most bites are rarely fatal, especially with modern medical care. But here's the catch. Copperheads are responsible for more venomous snake bites in the United States than any other species. That sheer frequency makes them incredibly dangerous. Thousands of copperhead bites are reported every year, far outpacing other snakes. Even if most don't kill, the bites can lead to permanent scarring, muscle damage, and weeks of recovery. For people without quick access to medical care, the risks increase dramatically. What makes copperheads especially tricky is their behavior. They often freeze in place when threatened, relying on camouflage instead of retreating. That means people can walk right up to them, or even sit down near them, without realizing a snake is just inches away. Only when the danger feels unavoidable do they strike, and by then it's too late. One unique trait of copperheads is their use of a hunting technique called caudal luring. Juvenile copperheads have bright yellow-green tails that they wiggle like worms to attract frogs, lizards, and other prey. Once the curious animal approaches, the snake strikes. It's a clever tactic that makes them efficient hunters. Cultural stories about copperheads run deep in the regions where they live. Farmers tell tales of finding them coiled in barns, while campers swap stories of sudden, painful bites on trails. One of the most chilling aspects of copperheads is that their bites can feel deceptively mild at first, sometimes compared to a bee sting. Victims may not even realize how serious it is until the swelling sets in hours later. Despite their reputation, copperheads play an important ecological role. By feeding on rodents and pests, they help control populations that could otherwise spiral out of balance. Still, their overlap with human environments makes them a constant threat. The copperhead shows us that danger isn't always about venom strength. Sometimes it's about how close the threat is to our daily lives. With their widespread range, excellent camouflage, and high bite rate, copperheads are among the snakes you're most likely to encounter, and that makes them one of North America's deadliest. Number 4. The Western Diamondback Rattlesnake. If there's one snake that embodies the Wild West, it's the Western Diamondback Rattlesnake. With its bold, diamond-shaped patterns, buzzing rattle, and coiled strike posture, this reptile has starred in Western films, folklore, and nightmares for generations. But beyond the legend, the Western Diamondback is also one of the deadliest snakes in North America. Found throughout the deserts, grasslands, and scrublands of the southwestern United States and northern Mexico, the Western Diamondback is a heavyweight among rattlesnakes. Adults often reach lengths of 4 to 6 feet, with some stretching past 7. Thick-bodied and muscular, this snake can stand its ground against much larger animals, including humans. Its venom is primarily hemotoxic, meaning it destroys tissue, causes internal bleeding, and interferes with blood clotting. A single bite can lead to massive swelling, blistering, and necrosis around the wound. In severe cases, untreated bites can cause organ failure or even death. Modern anti-venom saves lives, but not without a fight. Victims often endure days in the hospital and months of recovery. What makes the Western Diamondback especially dangerous is its attitude. While many snakes slither away when disturbed, Western Diamondbacks are notorious for holding their ground. They coil, raise their heads, and rattle loudly, a sound designed to stop you in your tracks. If that warning is ignored, the strike comes fast, accurate, and often with a large venom yield. Statistics show that the Western Diamondback is responsible for more snakebite deaths in Mexico than any other species. In the United States, it ranks among the top for serious bites and fatalities. Ranchers, hikers, and desert residents all know this snake well, and most treat it with deep respect. The western diamondback also plays an outsized role in American culture. Its image appears in Western movies, state folklore, and even military insignia. Cowboys used to say, "If you hear the rattle, it's already too late." That reputation has made the diamondback one of the most feared and iconic reptiles in North America. Despite the danger, the western diamondback is not an indiscriminate killer. Like most snakes, it bites primarily in self-defense. Many attacks happen when people accidentally step too close, try to handle the snake, or ignore the warning rattle. But when it does strike, it means business, and its size ensures it can deliver a massive dose of venom. One chilling story comes from Texas, where a man clearing brush stumbled into a coiled western diamondback. He ignored the rattle, thinking he could move past it quickly. Instead, the snake lashed out, sinking its fangs into his leg. Within minutes, he was struggling to breathe. Only a rapid trip to the hospital and multiple doses of antivenom saved his life. The western diamondback rattlesnake stands as one of the ultimate symbols of survival in the desert. Bold, powerful, and deadly, it earns its place near the top of this list not just for its venom, but for its sheer presence in the regions it calls home. When the rattle sounds, you're hearing one of nature's clearest warnings, and it's a warning you'd be wise to obey. Number 3, the canebrake rattlesnake. If the timber rattlesnake is the classic symbol of America's eastern wilderness, its close cousin, the canebrake rattlesnake, is the shadow lurking deeper in the south. Found across the lowlands, swamps, and farmlands of the southeastern United States, this snake is feared for its size, its stealth, and its venom, which is among the most potent of any rattler. The canebrake rattlesnake is technically a regional variation of the timber rattlesnake, but it's distinct enough to earn its own reputation. Growing 4 to 6 feet long and thick-bodied, it carries a menacing look with its pinkish-gray background color, dark crossbands, and often a reddish-brown stripe running down its back. Add in the signature rattle at the tail, and you've got a predator that demands respect. What really sets the canebrake apart is its venom. While many rattlesnakes rely on hemotoxic venom to destroy tissue and cause bleeding, the canebrake's venom is a powerful mix of hemotoxins and neurotoxins. This dual attack can cause excruciating pain, swelling, internal bleeding, and at the same time disrupt nerve signals that control muscles and breathing. In some populations, particularly in the deep south, the venom has been described as exceptionally potent, earning these snakes the nickname super rattlers. Like their timber cousins, canebrakes are ambush predators. They'll lie in wait near animal paths, field edges, or even abandoned farm buildings, perfectly camouflaged against fallen leaves or tall grass. Their patience makes them deadly. A strike comes only when the prey or an unlucky human is within range. And when they do strike, the long fangs and massive venom yield ensure that the victim is in serious trouble. Encounters with canebrakes are all too common in their range. Farmers moving hay bales, hunters walking through cane thickets, and even suburban residents on the edges of wetlands sometimes cross paths with this snake. The rattle is often the first warning, but many bite reports come from people who simply didn't see the snake until it was too late. Historically, canebrake rattlesnakes were both feared and respected in the South. Stories of massive snakes coiled near barns or striking at horse riders have been told for centuries. In the Carolinas and Georgia, rural residents still warn their children to stay away from cane fields in summer, when rattlers are most active. Modern medicine has drastically reduced fatalities, but the canebrake remains one of the most medically significant snakes in North America. Bites require immediate hospitalization and multiple doses of antivenom. Even with treatment, recovery can take weeks, and permanent tissue or nerve damage is not uncommon. One striking detail about canebrake bites is the variability. Some victims report relatively mild symptoms, while others experience near fatal effects. Scientists believe this is due to differences in venom composition between populations. Yet another reason this snake is so unpredictable. The canebrake rattlesnake earns its place at number 3, not just for its venom strength, but for the combination of size, stealth, and proximity to humans. It's a snake that embodies the hidden dangers of the southern landscape. Quiet, camouflaged, and capable of delivering a bite that can change a life in seconds. In the southeastern cane fields and swamps, the canebrake rattler rules, and it makes sure intruders know it. Number 2, the eastern diamondback rattlesnake. When it comes to size, power, and reputation, no snake in North America can compete with the eastern diamondback rattlesnake. This is the largest rattlesnake species in the world, and it carries a bite powerful enough to kill several humans with a single strike. If the western diamondback represents the deserts of the southwest, the eastern diamondback rules the pine forests, coastal plains, and swamps of the southeast. Eastern diamondbacks are true giants. Adults regularly measure 5 to 6 feet long, with some stretching beyond 8 feet and weighing more than 30 pounds. Thick-bodied and muscular, they are built for power. Their trademark diamond-shaped patterns run down the back like armor, while their large triangular heads and piercing eyes make them look every bit as intimidating as their reputation suggests. The venom of the eastern diamondback is primarily hemotoxic, designed to kill prey quickly by causing massive internal bleeding, swelling, and tissue destruction. But the danger doesn't stop there. These snakes have some of the largest venom glands of any rattlesnake, allowing them to deliver enormous doses of venom in a single strike. A bite to a human can result in rapid swelling, shock, organ failure, and, without antivenom, death. Historically, eastern diamondbacks have been responsible for more fatalities than almost any other snake in North America. In Florida and Georgia, stories of diamondback encounters are part of local culture. Farmers clearing land, hunters moving through pine forests, and even suburban residents near swampy areas have all had close calls with this massive rattler. One of the reasons eastern diamondbacks are so dangerous is their confidence. They are less likely than some other rattlesnakes to retreat when confronted. Instead, they coil, raise their heads high, and rattle with astonishing volume, a sound that can carry through the woods like a warning siren. If the threat doesn't back off, the strike comes fast, and with fangs up to 1.5 inches long, the bite penetrates deeply. The snake's natural prey includes rabbits, squirrels, and birds, but they are capable of taking down much larger animals when the opportunity arises. Their sheer size means they can deliver fatal doses of venom not just to small animals, but to full-grown humans. Conservation efforts have tried to protect the eastern diamondback, as its habitat has been shrinking due to development and agriculture. But for people who live in its range, the fear remains. One famous story from the 1940s tells of a diamondback killed in Florida that measured over 8 feet and reportedly weighed close to 40 pounds. The sheer thought of an animal that size, armed with deadly venom, cements the diamondback's fearsome reputation. Despite the danger, these snakes are not villains. Like all rattlesnakes, they play an important ecological role by controlling rodent populations. But when it comes to encounters with humans, they are among the most dangerous animals you can meet in the American wilderness. The eastern diamondback earns the number 2 spot on this list because of its unrivaled size, its lethal venom, and its long history of deadly encounters with people. It is a snake that commands respect, and for anyone living in the southeastern United States, it is a constant reminder that some of the deadliest predators aren't lions or tigers. They're right in your own backyard. Number 1. The eastern diamondback rattlesnake, crowned king. When we talk about the deadliest snakes in North America, the competition really narrows down at the top. Cottonmouths might strike fear in the swamp. Coral snakes carry venom as powerful as any cobra. The Mojave rattlesnake delivers a venom mix that can shut your body down inside and out. But there is one snake that stands above them all, and that's the eastern diamondback rattlesnake. Yes, we already saw it at number 2, but when you factor in everything, size, venom yield, aggression, and sheer number of human fatalities, the eastern diamondback has no equal. It is the undisputed king of North America's deadly snakes. The eastern diamondback's reputation isn't just hype. According to herpetologists, a single bite can inject enough venom to kill multiple adult humans. And unlike other snakes that might give a warning strike with less venom, diamondbacks are notorious for delivering their full payload when they hit. That means one mistake could be your last. In terms of encounters, eastern diamondbacks have historically been responsible for more confirmed deaths in North America than any other snake species. In Florida and Georgia, old newspaper reports tell chilling stories of farmers or hunters bitten by massive diamondbacks and succumbing within hours. Even today, with modern anti-venom available, these bites remain among the most serious medical emergencies in snakebite cases. The combination of danger factors is what makes this snake the deadliest. Start with its size. At 6 to 8 feet long, it's a heavyweight, capable of striking higher on the body than smaller snakes. Add in fangs over 1 inch long and venom glands the size of your thumb, and you've got a delivery system built for lethality. Then add its temperament. Unlike smaller, shyer snakes, the eastern diamondback often holds its ground. If you push your luck, it will strike. One infamous encounter happened in 2009 in St. Augustine, Florida. when a man clearing brush stumbled on an eastern diamondback nearly 7 feet long. The snake struck his leg, and within minutes he was in shock. Emergency crews rushed him to the hospital, where he required more than 20 vials of anti-venom. He survived, but only just. Stories like this are why locals treat these snakes with extreme caution. And yet, for all their deadliness, eastern diamondbacks also represent the raw power and beauty of America's wilderness. They are apex predators in their environment, keeping rodent populations in check and balancing ecosystems. Without them, swamps and forests would be overrun by pests that carry disease. So why crown the eastern diamondback number 1? Because when you add everything together, the venom potency, the massive size, the aggressive defense, and the long history of deadly encounters, no other snake matches it. It's not just the largest rattlesnake in the world, it's the deadliest snake on the continent. The eastern diamondback rattlesnake takes the throne not just for its fear factor, but for the cold, hard statistics. It's the snake most responsible for North American snakebite deaths, the one with the biggest venom payload, and the reptile that's earned the respect and fear of everyone who lives in its range. For all these reasons, the eastern diamondback isn't just number 1 on this list, it's the ruler of North America's snake kingdom. A living reminder that in the wild, the real killers are sometimes slithering silently through the grass at your feet. So there you have it, the top 10 deadliest snakes in North America. From the swamp-dwelling cottonmouth to the desert's Mojave green, each one brings its own brand of danger. But in the end, the eastern diamondback rattlesnake reigns supreme as the continent's deadliest serpent. Which one shocked you the most? Drop it in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe to Preda Planet, because we're just getting started. Next up, we're ranking the deadliest animals in America overall, and trust me, you don't want to miss that.